Thanks for joining for today's podcast. With me today, I have Angela Allen, who is a friend of mine, and she's a pretty awesome tradie lady. She is from LIUNA, local 92 here in Calgary. She is a journeyman red seal concrete finisher, and she's been in the trade for 15 years. Welcome, Angela.
Hi, thank you for having me.
My pleasure. I'm so glad that we can share your story on the podcast. So let's start. Could you please let us know a little bit about you and how you got started in the trades?
Well, I've been in the trades for 15 years, like you said, and I was working in a bar, and there was a guy, I was putting away beers, and I was like carrying like cases after case of beer, and he's just like, wow, you're a hard worker. Come work with me. And I also was working at a Italian social club at the same time. And so I went there. I was like, oh, I'm going to go work for this guy. We're going to do concrete. And they're like, you can't work concrete. I was like, what do you mean I can't work concrete? They're like, girls don't work concrete. And I'm like, I'm going to work concrete and I'm going to do it better than you. So I ended up meeting who's my boss. I didn't go work with the guy from the bar. He was kind of a creep. But I met my boss and he's like, I can pay you better money. And he didn't tell me it was unionized at the time, but he did tell me that it was for like a big company and I would have benefits and I would make more money than I would with this guy. So it took him 2 weeks to convince the office to give me a job. But I got in. I started as a laborer and I just worked my way up. I worked my way up on the tools. You go from like the shovel, which is the basic, and then you kind of get to go to the back edge and pull the screed board and do the edge. And yeah, I just kept moving up on the tools. And then so a few years later, I'm not too sure when, but my union hall approached me and they said, hey, like you're wicked. Like we think you're really good at this. Do you want to become a journeyman? Do you want to get your red seal? I was like, what's that? And they're just like, well, it's like a certification saying that you can do what you can do. And I'm like, really? Okay. So they sent me the books, and since I had all the hours already and I was already finishing concrete, I just took a 3-day course and challenged the exam and passed the exam. And so yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. That's a great story.
Yeah.
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 It was hard?
It was harder. I did my paramedics, my EMR. I had started that before in the past, aced that, no problem. And yeah, my red seal was way harder than that.
But worth it. Totally worth it, right? Because you've been in the trade ever since then, 15 years now, right?
Yeah.
That's really great. So how far have you explored your trade?
Well, I've done commercial, residential, industrial. I've done kind of all of it. A little bit here and there, mostly sidewalks. That's kind of what I stick to. But in the summertime for spare cash, like if family needs a sidewalk poured, I'll go help them pour a sidewalk.
Good to know. Good to know.
Concrete is expensive. That's one thing I'll tell you. And a lot of people don't understand concrete is expensive. And it's not just the concrete, but like the removal of everything, right? Like, so I'm not a form setter by trade, like I'm a concrete finisher, but I can set forms as well. So I've learned how to do that. And yeah, I haven't really gone past my like my red seal.
No, that's good. That's good. But you've run crews and you've looked after jobs and stuff like that, right?
Little like my own jobs. Yep.
Yeah. And it's an art. It's not ever anything I would ever tackle. There is no way. I did mix a bag of cement or a couple one time because I was putting my own fence posts in, but I would not even try to do anything that actually had to look good.
Well, it is an art, and that's why I love it, because people say, oh, anyone can do concrete. I'm like, yeah, anyone can do concrete, but to make it nice is a whole different story. And like to know how it works, it's finicky. It can be finicky,
Well, and you need to know a bit of chemistry too, and you really need to deal with seasons. You have to deal with the weather. Like, do you not pour differently in the winter when it's cold? There's a lot of times where you shut down for the winter, but cooler weather is different than hot weather, isn't it?
Well, they have winter heat. It's called winter heat. I think it's just hot water, to be honest, but it makes the concrete setup quite a bit faster. Um,
Okay.
yeah, and you have to, like, there's heating and hoarding. The ground should not be frozen if you're pouring on top of it, because yeah, there's just so much that can go wrong. It's better to
Yeah.
pour in the summer, which is why we get laid off in the winter usually. But
And
yeah,
that's not necessarily a bad thing. Who wants to work outside in our winters anyways, right?
oh, I've done it. I hate it. It's the worst.
I know.
Hot-
Well,
oh,
welders usually have to work outside in the winter. It's not fun. Not
also
fun.
and roofers. I'm like, good for them, especially being on top of a roof when it's like snowing and windy, like sketchy.
No, no. And the older I get, the less I am okay with heights.
Hmm.
I'm not okay with it anymore. I'm just not.
Me
No
too,
thanks.
especially ever since I jumped out of a plane. I was never afraid of heights, and then I jumped out of a plane, and now, oh, and now being pregnant, especially, I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, yeah. Let's talk about you being pregnant. Congratulations. I want to get back to that jumping out of an airplane thing though too. But congratulations. How far along are you?
Um, 21 weeks. So like, I don't know how many months is that?
Well, 40 is usually the total, they
Yeah. And
say,
yeah,
right? Total. So you're over halfway. You're
yeah,
over the hump. Speaking of the hump, how big are you? You're showing. You got to be showing by now.
I'm showing. Yeah.
That's
I
so
know.
awesome.
I have an app that says my baby is 10 inches from head to toe now. And I'm like, what? That's like a foot long, basically, inside my stomach.
I have a ruler right here. It's almost this big.
No, right?
It's this big.
That's crazy.
That is so cute. Yeah, a ruler is usually 12 inches. So
Yeah. So
that's
like, oh man. It was like, I'm just out of that cusp where it's like I don't look fat anymore. I just look, I'm starting to look actually pregnant. So
well, maternity clothes are a lot of fun to find though too, right? I remember those days. It was a long time ago for me, but that's awesome. And
yeah.
that gets fun too. You can be dressy, you can be cash, you can, yeah. It's better selection more and more over the years. My mom used to tell stories, and I'm sure your family's saying stories about not much to wear and you had to wear a dress, and now you can have cool jeans and dress pants and stuff, right?
Cool shirts. Yeah. All of it for sure.
Yeah, no, that's really, really awesome. Okay, so the next question I have for you, what's the favorite aspect of your trade?
Working outside. I love working outside, and yeah, I just love the heat. I love the freedom. I can't sit still for too long. Like I can, but I need to get up and moving. I like being moving. I like being active, and yeah, I like the camaraderie, I guess, with the men in the trades. Like I say men, but like that's because I worked with one woman for I think not even a month.
Wow,
But
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
the 15 years it was always all men. So it's fun.
Yeah.
You get to joke around, you mess around, and like you're playing, but you're getting paid pretty well to do so. So
Well, that's so funny because it comes up in the podcast a lot, and it creates this, this a truth about it, because there is a lot of camaraderie in the trades.
yeah,
And I usually say I don't have any brothers, but I have a lot of like trade brothers, right? Because you do have fun, and it is like a family, right? You're working, but you still get to have fun. I don't particularly like working outside, but you in the fresh air, yeah,
in
yeah,
the
and you have to be you're busy all day, you're always learning, and you're never bored. Like it's never a boring thing, right?
yeah, no, it's good.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Yeah, it's so funny to see that now that I mean I can't remember. I think you're the 15th podcast, but yeah, there's so much that every trade, no matter what you're in, you have to be artistic, you have to be creative, you have to, the camaraderie thing is one of my favorite things though too.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's not boring. Like you're not sat in front of a computer screen all day or like on the phone. Like you get that face to face, you get that interaction, and it's really light,
Yeah.
unless it's unless it's not. There's times where it's not, but
Well,
yeah,
and you also get to like coordinate sometimes with other trades too, right? Like
yeah,
there's other builders and people around, right? Like construction, there's other people that you get to see and meet, and it's always ever changing to me.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, it's really cool. So what obstacles have you overcome along the way?
Well, being a woman, that's probably the number one obstacle, to be honest. I've always been a workhorse, like I'm strong, and that's never been an issue. But even being able to touch the tools I wanted to, or like, hey, let me pull that board, or no, that's too big for you. You're a girl, or this or that, or like that's been hard. I'd say that's
But
like, because
you've overcome them for sure.
oh yeah,
Because you're
oh yeah,
still in the trade, and all you did was prove yourself, right?
yeah. I'm a fighter. I don't take no for an answer. So
I believe it. I totally believe that. No, that's awesome. And you haven't had to deal with childcare yet, but that'll be fun. That's coming.
I was about before I got laid off for the winter, I was a month and a bit pregnant. So yeah, the morning sickness just started kicking in, and that I don't know, like someone I've seen, I'm on tradeswomen like chats and all different kinds of Facebook like groups for women in the trades, and there's a lot of women that work throughout their entire pregnancies, and kudos to them, because I had to ask for an early layoff. I was like, this is a little bit much. Like I was in the wintertime, you cover all the concrete with tarps, right? So I was bending down and rolling these tarps up, and when you have heartburn and nausea, it's not fun. So
No, 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 and the heavy lifting and stuff too is not good when you're pregnant. There is a lot of modifying that you need to do when you're pregnant on the tools too. I personally didn't work. I mean, I did a
yeah,
little bit of time in a tool crib, but I definitely didn't do any welding or anything when I was
yeah.
pregnant. So yeah, it depends on the pregnancy. It depends on your trade. It depends on if you can be put on light duty too, right?
Well, and that's the thing. I worked with some amazing men that they were like, no, you're not going to lift that. That one's too heavy. You don't get that one. Here, take this one. Or like, there was a lot of walking one day. They're like, here, jump in the truck. Like, you can what we'll do the walking. You jump in the truck, kind of thing. They were really helpful. My boss was awesome. Everyone was really good to me.
Well,
So
they're brothers, right? You're a family when you work together, especially for a long time, right? They do
yeah,
become a lot of times you end up spending more time with your coworkers sometimes than you do with your own spouse, right? Because you get home, 4 or 5 hours, then you go to bed and you start your day all over again, right? So
sometimes in the summertime, for sure.
yeah, because you do work some long shifts, what, like 12, 14-hour days?
It can be. This year was a little bit slower because of COVID, but yeah, there was one day I think my husband came home at like 11:30. Like it was
Wow.
nuts. I was like, I'm going to bed. So see you there
Yeah.
tomorrow. Yeah.
That is crazy, isn't it? Okay, so next question, and you kind of touched on it a little bit, but I'd like to go into it a little bit more. Did you have other women to look to for support when you were along your journey? I mean, from beginning to end, really. You said you'd only come across one.
Yeah, at the beginning, no, I didn't at all. Zero women. Um, yeah, there was one girl who started way before my time, but I think she was just in the slurry crew, and I didn't even really know her well until I had already been kind of with the company for a long time, and she had already gone, kind of thing, right? So
Oh, okay.
um I didn't really know her at the beginning, and well, she was it was a different crew. She wasn't finishing concrete, but um yeah, I didn't have any women to look up to until I joined Build Together, which is a committee that we're both on.
Yeah.
um and that gave me a lot, honestly, like having these women around me that are all tradeswomen and like passionate about their work, passionate about women in the trades, and they're all just such strong independent women. Like it was really cool to have that aspect.
So can you tell us, because you were there at the very beginning, can you tell us what it is, and how it was created and where you are now with them? Because you're the chair now,
I know.
right? Because it started, I
I,
think, about 5 years ago, 6 years ago.
oh, really should know this. I actually wasn't one of the founding members, to be
Okay.
honest. I came in about a year and a half, maybe 2 years after.
Okay.
There were a few women that really laid the groundwork, but we are a group of women that advocate for other women in the trades. We challenge stereotypes and like try to break down those barriers that women have in the trades. For one, being pregnant, like being a
Yeah.
woman in the trades, being pregnant is probably one of the biggest ones, and childcare,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, for
Uh,
sure. Yeah. And it's through the Building Trades of Alberta. So we are the women of the Building Trades of Alberta, right? And
yeah,
I think the goal is to have one woman per union, right?
yeah,
Because I'm a member of Build Together, and I'm through my local UA Local 496 in Calgary.
yeah.
And we have, I believe it's like 12 committee members now. 13?
13, 13, yeah,
13. Yeah, yeah. The last one is also from my hall, which is a bit unusual, but she's a different trade, and we
yeah,
wanted to have a sprinkler fitter, so we welcomed a sprink.
yeah. I hope to have more women to help do everything that we want to do. Like, there's a lot that we want to do. We worked towards um, proper bathrooms for most women, for most people in general. Like, most job sites don't have running water or like a place to wash your hands.
Yeah,
And so we kind of worked on that for a bit. We're always doing something, whether
yeah.
it's charity events or
And getting
things.
involved in schools and stuff, right? And skills events, yeah. And I think I wasn't able to attend was Skills Alberta, I think not last year because there wasn't one, but the
Yeah,
year before I wasn't able to attend the booth. But you guys do booths and things like that, and speaking engagements and things, right?
yeah, I've done teachers conventions, where you go and you talk to the teachers, because a lot of times in the school systems these days, they want you to go to school to be a teacher, a doctor, a lawyer. But
Mhm.
like, so many people aren't wired that way. For myself as well, like, is like, I'm one of them. My dad used to call me Tinkerbell because I'd rather hang out with him in the shop than read a book, kind of thing, right? So
Yeah.
I was never like, it's not, yeah, I was never like a book. Like, I never wanted to go to school, and I don't know. I like school. I'm not saying I don't like school, but I never wanted to
Yeah.
go that way. I like to work with my hands. Like I said, I like to be outside. I like to do this. So
Yeah. Yeah, no, no, that is so true, right? And we do need those doctors, lawyers, and nurses, but like I say, where do those people work? They work in
yeah,
places that tradespeople have built, right? And
exactly.
we need each other just as much, right? Not to say that I don't diss school, but it definitely wasn't for me either.
Yeah,
I wanted to work with my hands, and I couldn't picture myself going to college. So for
yeah. I
me, and I
did for a bit.
did,
Sorry
yeah,
to
you
interrupt.
did. You were into you said paramedic?
Yeah, I started, and then I was like, no, I don't think this is for me, right? Like, I found
Yeah.
out I could play with mud, make mud pies all day, and get paid really well to do it. So I'm like, yes.
Yeah, that sounds like fun. We find a lot of people that join the trades have been to school for a while, have been to college, or have gone and fully got a degree. And then they're like, no, I don't want to do this. And now this giant student loan I have to pay. So
Yeah,
the best way to make good money quick is to join the trades, right? So
yeah, yeah, for sure.
yeah,
And
yeah.
have a career in it too. Like, there's so much you could do. Like, you can work your way up. You can become a foreman. You can become a super. You can do all these things, right? Um, if you choose
Yeah.
to do that. For me, I decided to do my NCSO, and
Yes. Now
uh,
explain what an NCSO is, because a lot of people probably won't know what that is.
so it's a National Construction Safety Officer. And yeah, you need to have experience in the trades before they'll even kind of look at you to go into safety.
Is that right? I didn't know that. Okay.
You have to have a certain amount of hours. I don't know what it is, but I knew that with 15 years, it's got to be enough. So I didn't
Yeah,
that. But
definitely.
yeah, and you take some courses and you become qualified to be a safety person on a job. And I thought, I've been saying that for years. I'm just going to do it, and then yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I've got oh
So here's a question. Is NCSO a trade? I've
no,
never, no? Okay,
it did.
but
Yeah, it has.
you have lots of opportunity to climb the ladder and in NCSO, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just
Definitely.
certification, but it's like, it's a job you can get. I've always known I wanted to stay within the trades because I love the trades. So
Yeah.
yeah. So I don't know what
No.
I'm doing with it, but Yeah, I
Well,
think
and you don't know, it's when you work in the trades, there's so many different doors that open for you. You can go and try something for a little while, and I mean, whether you like it or not, you can hop to the next thing and try that for a little while and hop to the next thing. Like in the world of cement finishers, like you said, there is something about a slurry. I have no idea what that is, but it sounds like there's a lot of options just within the concrete world too, right?
yeah, form setter. The slurry is like, so when you're pouring the sidewalks, they have to do a big cutout, right? So they put the forms up, and then between where you pour the concrete in the forms and the asphalt, there's still going to be a gap that they leave for people to work in.
Okay.
So they fill that up with concrete before they finish it up with asphalt once the forms come off. So
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
there's loam crew. Yeah, so I didn't work with that girl. I know I had mentioned before I did work with a lady for a month. She was she came as a laborer, and yeah, I think she just found something else. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's a hard job, and if you don't get it quick,
Yeah.
you kind of it's yeah, if you don't pick it up fast, it's not really one of those trades where, like for you, you went to school, you learn how to do these things
Yeah.
before you kind of get thrown into it. With concrete, you kind of just get thrown into it and you either sink or swim kind of thing, right? So
Yeah. Well, and it's very physically intensive work. Not to
oh,
say that women can't do it, because you are doing it, but it's not for the faint of heart. You have to be tough. You need to be strong.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
thick skins too.
Yes, well, exactly. And that's probably why there's not a lot of women in
Yeah,
in your trade, because you have to be thick skinned and you have to be a toughie. And you're a toughie, and you're not only strong, but you don't take any shit. And I know that
no,
because we've had many conversations, throughout Build Together. That's how we met. And we had Lean in Circles meetings, right? You were a moderator for Lean in Circles, which if you want to talk about for a minute, that would be great. But yeah, I know you don't take any shit, and that's good. And you need to have a bit of that to be in the trades, period.
for sure. Yeah,
Anyways, about Lean In.
yeah. Oh yeah, about leaning. Yeah, so that's a pilot program that you joined me in as well for some Calgary girls here. And yeah, it's a group where you can like learn to get to know, well, you get to know these women, and you learn tools how to advocate for yourself in the workplace. So we didn't finish. We had two
No, because of
modules.
COVID.
Yeah,
Yeah, because of COVID. I think, how many meetings? Because I missed one. Was it 3 or 4 meetings that we got to have?
four.
Because I
Missed
missed,
the
I
last
think I
one.
missed one. Yeah. Yeah. And then they're talking about bringing it out again in an online
Yeah,
version. Yeah.
which I think is kind of hard. Like I think that the whole part was great. Like we were sitting and laughing, and we had our snacks, and it was just really close knit. Like you
Yeah.
feel really comfortable with these women to talk about the issues that we face, right? It's hard to kind of talk to someone on screen when you can't feel that energy in the room, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Well,
don't know,
and
different.
yeah, and you get to open up, and there's something about opening up to other tradeswomen that you feel connected. You feel like I mean, I can't, I'm not going to spill the beans on all our meetings, but you
Yeah.
just feel a connection, like you have these sisters now, right? That you can lean on and reach out to if you need to. I really liked our meetings, and of course you're a great moderator of the meetings, and they were fun.
Keep
They
you
were
linked
fun.
in line.
Yes, yeah. We always joked about having, a little bit of vino. Now that if you're having meetings at home, maybe you can have a little sip of vino while you're in
Yeah,
during the meetings, right? Nobody has to drink and drive now, right? You're
exactly.
already at home.
Yeah,
You
they
won't be
were.
having any wine.
No, not for. Oh, I don't know.
I know when I was nursing, I don't know if we won't talk about that on the podcast, but I was nursing, so I didn't drink for another year after. So you do whatever works for you, man.
Yeah, pump and dump. Kidding, kidding, kidding.
I also want to talk a little bit about Tradeswomen Build Nations, because you were there. You and I were there the last in-person one, and it
Yeah.
was pretty amazing. Like a
Oh,
lot of
it's beautiful
people.
just thinking about it.
Yeah, so tell us how you felt about the whole thing.
It's super cool. It's super cool to see women from all over America, North America, and I think there's not really South America. It was just Canada and US, right?
I think there were some from Ireland and a couple
Oh,
of other places, unless I'm mistaking that for another conference. I did way too many conferences that year. I know I did.
yeah.
But Tradeswomen Build Nations, yeah, it was just, I was completely overwhelmed because having
And
1,200 tradeswomen from all of North America and then some, it was just, we overwhelmed that hotel. They could not keep up with the drinks, with the women around, with I'm nobody there. We were all sisters. There was
yeah,
no friction. Everybody was like, yeah, yeah. And then we had that parade, the banner parade was just
parade was awesome.
so powerful. And the people of the area were like, oh yeah, it was
Oh, it was
awesome.
awesome. I think, yeah, like having all of those women in that one room, I like almost was emotional. Like, oh, I'm getting emotional. This might be the pregnancy hormones, but just like
No,
it was so emotional to have that much energy and all those women screaming and cheering, knowing that like they've been through the same thing.
yeah, I get emotional too about it. I get goosebumps when I think about it because it was just so empowering. It
It
was
was
just like, and we really didn't have that many women from Canada down there. We
Mhm.
hope to increase the numbers because I try to help out a little bit. I kind of push a little bit from the background
Yeah.
to bring more Canadian women to the Tradeswomen Build Nations because it is so empowering. And I mean, there's courses and it's not all just a big party. There's courses and stuff that you take during that time there. But yeah, it was, yeah, having all the women in the same room was really great. And there was, at first I heard some rumblings that some of the women didn't think that there should be men there, but and I thought right away, and I'm glad they set it up on stage. It's really important to show who our allies are. Why wouldn't we have the men there? The men having our allies, like there was a lot of business managers, a lot of business agents, co-workers, training coordinators that were there that were male. And I think it just goes to show that we do have strength in numbers. And the
Mhm.
more women that we have together on a crew, together in our union, together in a particular trade, it's just phenomenal. It brings strength, and the more the merrier, really.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I
Yeah,
agree completely.
yeah. Tradeswomen Build Nations. I hope we can do it in person this year because,
It was
man,
awesome.
I need to get some tradeswomen time because it's so empowering. It's great.
Yeah.
So next question I have is, what does a day in the life of Angela Allen look like? Now you can do now, or you can do like a day when you're on the tools. Your choice.
Let's do when I'm on the tools because right now it's not too interesting to be completely honest. Yeah, early mornings. So we start at 7. If I drive to the yard, there's usually a work vehicle that'll take us all to site because we are all around Calgary and area. So we have to be there at 6:15, which usually means like a 5:30. I say 5, but it's really a 5:30 wake up call. Yeah, get up at 5:30. I try to make my lunches the night before. And yeah, we get there at 7 o'clock. We do our toolbox meetings, our hazard assessments, and we start our day. The concrete is there, and we kind of just go until our boss tells us it's the last truck. You get like with concrete, you don't get breaks. They're not, well, you get breaks, but they're not scheduled breaks.
Yeah.
Um, it's kind of just like if you're changing locations or if a truck is taking its time getting there. Um, that's when you kind of go to the truck and you get your water, you get some food, or you keep on going. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
go, go, go in the
Yeah.
world.
No, that's good. And then after work, you come home exhausted.
Yeah, shower. That's the first thing you do. You don't want to touch anything in your house because you're filled with dirt and concrete. And, yeah. So yeah, shower, make your dinner, make your lunch, kind of watch something on TV if you have time, and then go to bed.
Yeah.
Summers are
No,
busy.
yeah, no, and that's good. That's a good day because you're tired and then you earned it, right? You usually sleep really well when you're in the trades.
Oh well, I don't get up to pee in the summertime ever, maybe once. In the wintertime, it's like I get up twice to pee. Now that I'm pregnant, it's way more than that. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
get your sleep
Yeah, you work all day. That you earn that good sleep for sure.
for sure.
Okay, so now do you have any advice for others that may be looking to join the trades?
Yeah, just like look into it. There's so many resources. There's so many tradeswomen chats. Like the Building Trades of Alberta is a wicked site. There's yeah, there's so many places that you can get information on the trades these days that I would just say take the first step. Um, I think that being a woman in the trades, like we were talking about this as a committee, but potentially getting like a Skills Alberta kind of thing going on, but for women, not just students, to like try a trade and see what you like, because you never really know what it's all about until you get into it, right? So yeah, I think that would be a wicked opportunity, but I would say just get into it. There's no time than now. Yeah, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, no, that's true. And the courses too. Here in Alberta, we have quite a few options for courses, but I mean, across the country, you really have to look into your region, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what is happening in Ontario or, East Coast, West Coast. I mean, there's a ton of programs into the States too. I have no idea. So you really would have to look into your region. But here we have like the Women Building Futures in Alberta and Empower, right? Empower has such a great program, right?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, so many resources. Yeah, if you just want to get into them, just do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Did you have anybody in the trades in your family?
My dad is a carpenter by trade.
Okay.
Carpenter, cabinet maker.
Okay. Yeah. I wasn't sure because some people do have family members in the trade and some people don't, right? So no. So you were familiar kind of with the idea of trades anyways, right?
I knew how to swing a hammer, which is, I guess sometimes we're fixing forms. So yeah, I can do that, but.
Yeah, no, that's good. So last question, the final remarks are yours. So is there anything else you would like to share or anything that we haven't covered that you'd like to talk about?
I think we've covered it all.
Yeah, no, I think we had a great chat.
Good chat for sure.
Yeah, and of course you're the first pregnant one that I got to talk to, right? You're the first pregnant guest. So that's really awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, yay. I'm so excited for you. And when is your due date?
June 11th. My dad's hoping for June 12th. That's his birthday. So.
Oh, no, that's a summer baby.
Yes, thank goodness. Don't have to. I've
Yeah.
heard it's not fun being pregnant in the summer months. So.
Yeah, I guess I didn't really. Yeah. My son was born February. So I found out I was pregnant in August. So I did a winter pregnancy too.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, takes me back. Oh my God, that was so long ago. Feels like 100 years ago. But yes, congratulations. Now I'm gonna end the podcast, but stick around and I want to talk to you after because everybody gets some swag for doing a podcast. So we'll have to chat afterwards. But thank you so much. It was a pleasure talking to you. Yeah, I'm looking forward to see what you do next. Where will you be a year from now, right? You have a lot of options.
Only God knows. I have no idea, but.
Well, next time, maybe this time next year, let's maybe do another podcast.
I would love that. Hopefully I'm still within the trades doing something trades related.
You'll be doing something. You're not leaving.
No, well, even my boss, he's like, you're going to come back in April, right? I was like, in April? I'm not going to be able to bend over in April. He's pulling my leg. I don't know, but.
Yeah. You never know. Maybe you could show up one day with like a big pair of maternity Carhartts on or something like that and say, come on, pass me a hammer just for kicks.
Or a photo shoot, maybe. That's about it.
Anyways, okay. Well, nice chatting with you. Thank you so much for doing the podcast with me, and I'll talk to you again shortly. Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye now.